All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, excited to be here.
You know me, I love a good dystopian story.
For sure, for sure.
And this one that we're looking at today, it really caught my eye, Brown Girl in the Ring
Yeah.
by Nalo Hopkinson.
Yes.
It's got this really interesting blend of, that gritty dystopian world that we all love, but then she brings in this element of magic.
Yeah.
And so I thought this would be a really cool one to kind of unpack and see what's going on here, see why people are talking about it.
I think that's a great idea.
So, one of the things that I think is so powerful about this book is the setting, right? So we're talking about Toronto, but this is not the Toronto we know.
Right.
This is a Toronto that has been devastated by economic collapse.
Exactly.
And so the inner city, this area called the Ring, it's been abandoned by the government. And it's become this kind of lawless zone.
Right. It's really interesting how she takes, kind of a familiar place and then really flips it on its head.
Yeah.
And shows you what could happen, under these extreme circumstances.
And it's not just about the danger, though, right? Because, there's this element of resilience, too.
Absolutely.
It's like people are finding ways to survive and even thrive.
Yeah. 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 They're creating their own communities. They're finding their own ways to make things work.
And I think that's one of the things that's so compelling about the story.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the most unique aspects of this book.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopkinson brings in this element of Caribbean folklore.
Right.
Things like Obeya, which is, a system of spiritual practices.
Yes.
And it's not just like, there's a magical spell here and there. It's like these beliefs are deeply ingrained in the characters' lives.
Exactly. It's woven into the fabric of their existence.
Yes.
It's not just a side element. It's central to how they understand the world and how they survive.
Right. And it's almost like in this dystopian world where everything has gone wrong.
Yeah.
These traditions, these beliefs become even more important.
Right. They're a source of strength.
Yeah.
A source of power in a world that's lost its way.
So let's talk about our main character, Ti-Jeanne.
Yeah, Ti-Jeanne.
She's not your typical dystopian hero.
No, not at all.
She's a young mother.
Right.
And she's just trying to do her best to protect her child.
Right.
And what's really interesting about her is that she's not perfect.
Oh, definitely not.
She's flawed. She makes mistakes.
Absolutely.
She doubts herself.
I think that's what makes her so relatable.
Yeah.
She's not this superhuman figure.
Yeah.
She's just a real person trying to get by.
And I think that's what makes her so compelling.
Yes.
Because we can all see ourselves in her in some way.
Mm-hmm.
That scene where she's using her knowledge of herbs to heal her baby.
Oh, yeah.
That really resonated with me because it's like this
Yeah.
knowledge has been passed down from her grandmother.
Yes.
It's this connection to her heritage.
Right.
And it's almost like an act of defiance.
Yeah.
In this world that's trying to strip her of everything.
Exactly. It's like she's reclaiming her power.
Yes.
Through her tradition, through her culture.
So, we've got this really compelling setting, this relatable heroine.
Right.
This element of magic.
Yes.
But one of the things that I think really comes through in this story is this idea of resilience.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not just individual resilience, right? It's about community.
Yes.
It's about coming together and supporting each other.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that makes this book so hopeful.
It is hopeful.
Even though it's set in this dystopian world.
Right, because it shows that even in the darkest of times,
yeah,
there's still that human connection.
Yes.
That ability to find strength in each other.
I did notice that our source material mentioned some critiques about the book.
Oh, really?
Some things about the pacing.
Okay.
Maybe some underdeveloped plot threads.
Okay.
Did you find that took away from the story at all?
I can see where those critiques are coming from.
Yeah.
But for me personally, the power of Hopkinson's writing,
yes,
the beauty of her prose,
yeah,
the way she captures the rhythm of Caribbean speech, it just completely overshadowed any of those minor flaws.
I have to say this deep dive has really got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Brown Girl in the Ring, it's not just a dystopian thriller.
Yeah.
It's a story about culture and community.
Yes.
And the power of our traditions.
Right.
And it makes you wonder, what aspects of your own cultural heritage might be relevant in today's world.
That's a great question to consider.
Yeah.
What can we draw from our past to help us navigate the present
exactly.
and the future?
So there you have it, folks. Brown Girl in the Ring A
Yes,
powerful story
absolutely.
about resilience and hope,
Mm-hmm.
set against the backdrop of a dystopian future.
And infused with the magic of Caribbean folklore.
Don't miss it.
Definitely check it out.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Sounds good.
Until then, keep reading.
Happy reading!